Moses, one of the most pivotal figures in biblical history, was chosen by God to lead the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt and towards the Promised Land, shaping the foundations of Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions. He was born during a time of great oppression when Pharaoh, fearing the growing population of the Hebrews, ordered the killing of all newborn Hebrew males. To save him, his mother placed him in a basket and set him afloat on the Nile River, where he was discovered by Pharaoh's daughter and raised in the Egyptian royal palace as her own son. Despite his privileged upbringing, Moses never forgot his Hebrew roots, and upon witnessing the brutal treatment of his people, he acted in anger, killing an Egyptian who was beating an Israelite. Fearing retribution, he fled Egypt and settled in Midian, where he married Zipporah, the daughter of Jethro, and lived as a shepherd for many years. One day, while tending sheep near Mount Horeb, Moses encountered a miraculous sight, a bush that burned but was not consumed. From within the flames, God spoke to him, revealing his divine plan and commanding him to return to Egypt and demand Pharaoh release the Israelites. Though hesitant, feeling unworthy and incapable of leadership, Moses was reassured by God and given his brother Aaron as a spokesperson. He returned to Egypt and confronted Pharaoh, but Pharaoh's heart was hardened, refusing to release the Israelites. In response, God unleashed 10 devastating plagues upon Egypt, demonstrating his power over Pharaoh and the Egyptian gods. The final and most severe plague, the death of the firstborn, finally broke Pharaoh's resistance, and he allowed the Israelites to leave. This event, known as the Exodus, was marked by the institution of the Passover, as the Israelites were instructed to mark their doorposts with the blood of a lamb so that the angel of death would pass over them. Moses then led the Israelites on their journey out of Egypt, but Pharaoh, regretting his decision, pursued them with his army. Trapped between the Red Sea and Pharaoh's forces, the Israelites despaired, but God commanded Moses to stretch out his staff, parting the waters and creating a dry path for them to cross. As soon as they reached the other side, the waters collapsed, drowning Pharaoh's army and securing the Israelites' escape. From there, Moses guided them into the wilderness, where they faced many trials, including hunger, thirst, and moments of rebellion. Witnessing God's power firsthand, the Israelites frequently grumbled and rebelled against Moses' leadership, even longing to return to Egypt. As a result of their lack of faith, they were condemned to wander the wilderness for 40 years until the generation that had doubted God perished, making way for a new generation to enter the Promised Land. During these years, Moses continued to lead, instructing the people in God's laws, settling disputes, and interceding on their behalf. However, he also faced personal trials, including a moment of disobedience where, in frustration, he struck a rock to bring forth water instead of speaking to it as God commanded. Because of this act, God decreed that Moses would not enter the Promised Land. As the Israelites approached Canaan, Moses delivered his final speeches, recorded in the book of Deuteronomy, reaffirming God's laws and urging the people to remain faithful. He then climbed Mount Nebo, where God showed him the Promised Land from a distance. There, Moses died at the age of 120, and the Bible states that God himself buried him in an unknown location. His leadership, faith, and obedience to God left an enduring legacy, and he is remembered as one of the greatest prophets and leaders in history. His life's work not only secured the freedom of the Israelites, but also laid the foundation for their covenant with God, shaping the spiritual and moral framework of future generations.